Looking for the best micro-ATX motherboards for your Intel setup? Micro-ATX motherboards strike the ideal balance in form factors. Smaller than ATX boards, but bigger than Mini-ITX. They're the sweet spot that lets you build a compact system without making it too tiny or compromising on features. In this video, I've put together a list of the best budget and best value micro-ATX motherboards specifically for Intel processors. You won't have to wade through endless choices, I've narrowed it down for you. Price information and all the motherboards mentioned are available in the description below. So let's get started with the best budget micro-ATX motherboard. The ASRock B760M Pro RS is a great option for budget Intel users who want to upgrade to LGA 1700, providing sufficient storage and PCIe options, along with a 4-DIMM slot configuration for memory, which is contrary to the common 2-DIMM slot design found in most micro-ATX boards. That said, there are certain areas where some users might feel a bit bound. Let's find out. Starting off with the design, the board has a silver theme with some elements of black. From the VRMs to the heatsink on the M2 slot, the silver accent is quite dominant. It uses a 6-layer PCB design, which is quite common in motherboards these days. However, there's no RGB present. You do get RGB headers on the board, allowing you to bring your own RGB if you want. Pro RS and ASRock branding can be found on the different heatsinks, and they certainly are not a bad look. You get a single 8-pin EPS connector for the processor in the top left corner, along with 4 DIMM slots for the memory that have a locking mechanism on both sides. For VRMs, the board uses a 7+1+1 phase configuration. So 7 phases are dedicated to V-core, and this is where some of the compromises were made to keep the price low. Don't get me wrong, this configuration is not terrible, but it's certainly not among the best either. The board should be able to handle even flagship Intel processors just fine. However, there's no room for raising the power limits from the factory defaults. Coming into performance, this is where you'll be positively surprised. The board offers a single PCIe Gen 5x16 slot for your graphics card, with an additional PCIe Gen 3 slot. On top of that, the Gen 5 slot uses reinforced steel, providing more support for your card. On the memory side, you're looking at 3 Gen 3 M2 slots, and one of them has its own dedicated heatsink. Lastly, the board also offers 4 SATA 3 6GB per second connectors. When it comes to thermal performance, the B760M Pro RS really offers excellent thermal efficiency, even with a limited VRM design. Under intensive workload, the temperatures stay around 50 degrees Celsius, which is really great. If you wish to bring the most out of your processor and increase the overall power draw, you're going to need ample airflow along with a good cooling solution. In terms of connectivity, you get 6 USB ports on the rear, out of which 4 are USB 3.2 Gen 1, while 2 ports are only USB 2.0. On the front side, you're looking at 7 USB ports, with 3 supporting USB 3.2 Gen 1, and the rest USB 2.0. The board uses a Realtek 2.5 GHz chip for network connectivity, which should be more than enough for most users. In comparison, the ASRock B760M PG Riptide comes with no Gen 5 slots for your graphics card, and with a memory clock speed of 6800. On the other hand, the B760M Pro RS supports speeds of up to 7400 MHz, along with a Gen 5 PCIe slot and good thermal efficiency. All in all, the ASRock B760M Pro RS is the best micro-ATX board that you can buy on a budget, offering great features and performance with no big constraints. Let's see now which is the best value Intel micro-ATX motherboard. Gigabyte Z790M Aorus Elite AX is a mid-range motherboard that really shines among its competition, offering plenty of features such as PCIe Gen 5 and a great VRM configuration. Not only is it a good option from a performance standpoint, but it also looks quite well, maintaining a nice aesthetic throughout the board that's not overwhelming. To start off, the Z790M Aorus Elite AX has a 6-layer PCB design with a matte black finish. The thick heatsinks have Aorus branding, along with stenciled patterns. The heatsinks have a brushed aluminum surface, which gives it an overall premium feel and look. There's also built-in RGB that can be seen around the chipset heatsink. Power to the processor is provided through the 8-pin and 4-pin connectors in the top left corner. No compromises have been made in the memory department, either with full 4 DIMM slots configuration and a dual locking mechanism. In terms of power delivery, it's using a 14-phase setup with 12 phases dedicated to V-core. This leads to a total of 720 amps available to the CPU, which means there's plenty of power even if you wish to overclock the CPU. The 12+1+1 VRM design offers solid thermal efficiency even for flagship processors that are more power hungry. Moving to the performance of the board, you're looking at 2 PCIe by 16 slots for your graphics card. The CPU expansion slot is PCIe Gen 5, which is a great addition, especially when you're looking to future-proof your build. This also includes an easy latch option, which makes mounting and unmounting your graphics card easier. The chipset expansion slot, on the other hand, is based on PCIe Gen 4. In terms of storage, there are no Gen 5 slots, rather you get a total of 3 PCIe Gen 4 M2 slots. The top M2 slot comes with a heatsink that Gigabyte refers to as thermal guard, which ensures your M2 SSD is able to perform to its max without any thermal issues. For memory, the card is able to support a max speed of 7600 MHz, and this is more than sufficient. The thermal efficiency of the board is also great, which is to be expected from its 12+1+1 VRM configuration. You can throw any LGA 1700 processor at it, and the board will be able to handle it without any issues. Connectivity is also pretty solid. For rear USB ports, you get a total of 10, out of which only 4 are based on USB 2.0. There are also plenty of front USB options, with a total of 7 USB ports available that can be accessed through the header. Out of these, 2 ports are based on USB 3.2 Gen 1, while a single port uses USB 3.2 Gen 2. Finally, in terms of network, the board offers built-in Wi-Fi 6E from Intel, along with a 2.5 GB LAN chip from Realtek. Compared to its competition from MSI, the MPG B760M Edge TI Wi-Fi goes down when it comes to the expansion slots, offering Gen 5 and Gen 3 options only. In terms of memory and storage, both boards offer the same features and even the same VRM design. In conclusion, the Z760M Aorus Elite AX is an exceptional board that's not too heavy on the pocket and offers features that should future-proof your build with ease. On top of that, it maintains a nice aesthetic look that's quite pleasing. There's plenty more to enhance your PC experience. Check out more of our videos filled with suggestions and reviews to help you get the most out of your setup.